Hi, I'm Scott Sheldon, and welcome to this episode of Winegazer. Thank you so much for tuning in. So for this episode, we're doing a feature on Pinot Gris coming from Oregon State. So if you're not familiar with Pinot Gris, it's synonymous with Pinot Grigio. It just depends, how these wines are labeled as to where they're being made in the world. In Italy, they call it Pinot Grigio. In France, they call it Pinot Gris. Gris or Grigio means gray, referring to the fact that these grapes are genetically identical except for some mutations that happened centuries ago that caused them to turn gray, otherwise almost genetically identical to Pinot Noir. Like Pinot Noir, they require a cool climate. They can be fickle to deal with, but they produce amazing, food-friendly white wines. So here in the United States, we can call them either Pinot Gris or Pinot Grigio. It's up to the winemaker. There's no laws prohibiting us from using either term. And a lot of popularity in the last 10 years with these wines in the United States because of this company. You might have heard of them, Santa Margherita. These wines have exploded here, coming from Italy, Pinot Grigio. So with that being said, the first wine is coming from Benton Lane, 2010 Pinot Gris, rolls in at $17 US, 13.75% alcohol, a little over 3,200 cases made, and started in 1988 by Steve and Carol Gerard. They came up from California looking for a cooler place to do some Pinot Noir. And I've been a fan actually of their Pinot Noir for years. I enjoy it when I go to Hawaii at Duke's over in Waikiki. That was one of my favorite picks on their wine list. So, take a look at the color. Nice light straw color. Get some air into this. These wines have been open for, 30, 40 minutes. They were, chilled before, letting them come up a little bit in temperature. So we can kind of smell and taste some more nuances. Let's give it a smell. So wonderful key lime, some good wet slate rock minerality coming through also on the nose. Really like that. Wonderful white peaches also coming through. Some apricot, and then also in the background there's just like this little hint of like a earthy funkiness, which I really like. So intriguing nose, I like what's going on. Let's give it a taste. Wow, so it's like I just bit into like a really ripe, beautiful Granny Smith tart green apple. It's like all over my palate, this like electric acidity and tartness and creaminess. Some fresh grapefruit flavors coming through on the palate also. And there's like this kind of candied citrus thing. It's kind of like an orange marmalade flavors coming through. Wow, dynamite wine, nice long finish on it. I like towards the end, you start getting kind of this wet rock, a little bit of honey at the end of the finish on this wine, which is really nice. Great wine. So I'm going 3 out of 5 stars. That's right, no more 100-point scoring system here on Winegazer. So we're going to do it like this. 1 star, mediocre. 2 stars, good. 3 stars, great. 4 stars, outstanding. 5 stars, a classic or perfect wine. We can do half-star increments in between. But, just keep it simple. And that's what I'm trying to do here. So, with that being said, great start to the show. Great first wine. Let's move on to wine number 2. So, big producer here, King Estate. 2010 Pinot Gris. These these grapes, for this wine, just coming from the Oregon appellation. They can come basically anywhere in the state. $17 US, 13.0% alcohol, 82,000 cases produced. Again, the fermentation 100% stainless steel, and they are just overlooking the wonderful Lorraine Valley, southwest of Eugene, Oregon, is where these folks are located. And again, estate fruit, meaning grown on the property there. So let's give it a pour. And another shot at the label. I don't know if you caught that. All right, let's get some air in here and give it a smell. Some wonderful citrus flavors on the nose. Got some orange, a little lemon lime. Green apple on the nose. And then again, that minerality that, you know, you can smell that rockiness. It's almost like a riverbed kind of thing happening. Let's give it a taste. Nice flavors of like fresh honeydew. Again, tropical fruit flavors with some citrus accents is what's coming on here. You got some pineapple, you got some like tangerine, little passion fruit. Wonderful citrus, orange flavors coming through on the palate. Nice acid. Good wine too. A little bit sweeter than the first wine. And going 2.5 stars for wine number 2. So, third wine. Coming from the Willamette Valley Vineyards. It's a 2009. So, a different vintage. And it's a Pinot Gris again. Willamette Valley. $16 US. 12.5% alcohol. And it's interesting, they have a little note on the back here. Please return the bottle to the winery for a 10-cent refund. Thanks for recycling. It's interesting though, in this wine they've added a little bit of Muscat and a Pinot Blanc, and also a little bit of barrel fermented Pinot Gris to go in with that stainless steel fermented Pinot Gris that makes up the majority of the wine. And in Oregon, you know, to call something Pinot Gris, it has to be up to 90% Pinot Gris. Another 10% of other grapes can be used. So let's give this a pour. At this winery, they were voted Winery of the Year by Wine and Spirits magazine last year for 2011. Get some air in here. So it's interesting that David Lett, you know, he was the first one to plant Pinot Gris in Oregon in 1966 in the Erie Vineyards. And at the time, these wines didn't have much of a market, and he used to trade a lot of his wines to the local salmon fishermen for salmon. And that's, you know, how this pairing started. If you ever hear people talking about, you know, Pinot Grigio or Pinot Gris, excuse me, and salmon in Oregon, that's one of the ways that this kind of started out, was from David Lett. So interesting story. Let's give this wine a smell. Wow, tremendous lemon lime aromas coming through. It's like it's very effervescent too. It's almost like you're smelling like a 7-Up soda. Nice fig, nice lemongrass again coming through. Wonderful honey also coming through on this wine. Tad bit of earthiness too that I like. Let's give it a taste. I really like the mouthfeel on this wine. It has a really wonderful creaminess, roundness to it, a lot of weight to it, which I don't know if it's that muscadet that's added that gives it that quality, but I like the way it's really coating my palate for a white wine. Really nice. Let's give it another taste here. Beautiful pear, peach, apricot flavors. Total stone fruit party in the mouth. Punctuated with some nice lemon and lime flavors as well. Wow, that's really nice. And again, the acidity as in most of these wines, very high, going to be tremendous food wines. And let's just talk about food pairing for a minute too when you're talking about these wines. It's like ultimate picnic wines. I mean, you want to talk about like something that'll go great with like cold fried chicken and potato salad and pasta salad and artisan cheeses and like charcuterie and bread and those kinds of things. These wines would be perfect for those kinds of things, as well as nice elegant dinner with like scallops, whitefish, shellfish, that kind of thing as well. So great food wines. So scoring: Willamette Valley Vineyards 2009 Pinot Gris, 3.5 stars. Really like that wine. And move some things around. Get on with wine number 4. Alright, so wine number 4 coming from Sokol Blosser. Look at that. It's a 2010 Pinot Gris, also coming from Willamette Valley, $18 US, 13.5% alcohol, and they were started in 1971. And again, I love the labeling here. It says on their wine, contains sunshine, buckets of rain, more sunshine, morning dew. Great ingredients, I love it. And cool label, by the way. I'm a huge fan of wine labels. Hopefully you can kind of see that. My cheap flip cam. Alright, let's get some more air in here. A little more golden in color, kind of in between straw and gold, I would say. These wines have been all pretty clear to look through, no cloudiness. And all very fresh, by the way. I just love the freshness in all these wines. Let's give it a smell. So nice lychee coming through, a little bit of key lime. Green apples, again, one of the main themes I'm coming across in these wines. Like some honeysuckle, wow. Yeah, and a little bit of pear. Yeah, that's really nice. Wow. Let's give it a taste. Wow, so like pears and peaches and apples coming through, and they're all so fresh. It's really wonderful. Let's give it another taste. Tremendous minerality on the palate on this wine. Again, another great food wine. All of these, really great food wines. I like what's going on with these wines in this region, and the price points are tremendous. I mean, they're all under 20 bucks, and they're all, solid wines. Let's give it one more taste. Wonderful, like sweet dried apricots and dried figs coming through. Wonderful sweetness on the finish. This is wonderful honey sweetness at the back, right at the end of the finish. Another beautiful wine, 3.5 stars going. I would like to thank all of these producers for sending the wines in to participate on the show about Pinot Gris from Oregon State. Check them out online, bentonlane.com, kingestate.com, WillametteValleyVineyards.com, and SokolBlosser.com. And I'd like to just take this moment to say thank you for all the comments. I really appreciate everyone for commenting on the last episodes about the different things that we've been talking about. And I love it. It's just an amazing thing to be part of this conversation. And I just want to say thank you. So I hope you enjoyed the show. And until next time, cheers.